Hello everyone, Silent Gaming here. Today we're going to be talking about computer stuff. Woo! The evil computer stuff. No, it's not really that bad. There's just some kind of stuff that gets a little confusing, and it's kind of here to clear that up a little bit, especially for beginners or. Okay, so let's jump right into it. All right. Let me. That what my hand is touching is called, well, RAM. All right. Now, see how these are color coded? White. I think I hit the black one. White, white, black, black. Okay, so these are different channels. Now, what a lot of people like to do is think that you're gonna have to check your documentation on your motherboard. Okay, but 9 times out of 10, when they're color coded, you put one stick in the white or whatever color it is, then put one in the other color that matches it. That way it'll work. Now, all they do. Sorry for that truck noise if you can hear it. So it has that little notch in it, and you just go, and then you look on the motherboard. Ooh, you look on the motherboard. Ooh, there. See a little notch about in the middle. You just line that up. Ooh, I had it backwards. Had it backwards again. Now, some of these, especially the older ones, like this one, are stubborn. Now, the new ones aren't so bad. You shouldn't be able to pull it out. Okay? Now, that's the RAM. Now, what's this big thing right here? My favorite part of the whole computer. That's a CPU. If you're wondering why there's a little screen blocking over here, we'll get to it here in a minute. Now, it has a little latch over here on the side. You just pull out and pull up, like so. I'm not going to turn it completely vertical because it'll pop out of there. I mean, this doesn't actually work anymore, but I don't want parts flying around my room. Boom. Now, let me see where. These have notches on them as well. I think the newer ones, the newer ones they don't have notches. They have diamonds or little dots. Yeah, this one has the dot and the diamond. Okay. I guess that's just how old the diamond thing is. Now, there we go. So, latch, then it secures it in. This has like a double latch type of thing. The new ones don't really have that. It's just kind of like locks it into place. Let's see. Now, a lot of this can just be found on your motherboard documentation. These little SATA ports right here for your hard drives. They're L-shaped. That's how I know that's what those are. And then this motherboard is old, but I'm just using it because, well, it's so old. I'm sitting on, like a little rug. I probably shocked this already, so it's not going to work anymore. And the power supply is typically a big 28 pin, 28 or 24, I can't remember. I'm not going to sit here and count all of them. Now, important thing to remember about the CPU is, well, as you see, it doesn't have this beautiful thing on it called a heatsink. What will happen to a computer without a heatsink? Sorry, I keep looking down. I'm used to the camera being right there. It'll burn up, basically. There's no if, maybe, or it will burn up. Probably within a matter of minutes. How do I know that? Because it happened to my computer. My water cooler stopped working, and within about 10 minutes, I noticed that whatever game I was playing dropped and frame rate to half, and I was like, cutting the stream, and sure enough, I blew a core. So I went from a 6-core to a 5-core, and that was, I don't really know how long it was. I didn't time it, but it sure wasn't long before I noticed a drop in performance. Okay, so size-wise of motherboard, there's different sizes. ITX, mini ITX, ATX. Shouldn't mean a lot to you. Most modern sizes of the ITX or the mini, and then the ATX or the ETX. I don't think you'll get into the ETX because that's like massive. ATX is about normal size. It's large. ITX is modest, and then mini is like even smaller than that. Let me go ahead and set this down here. Okay, now I'm going to show you what the little screen is here for. Now, I record this video like I don't know how many times now, so I already walked through and put all this stuff on here. Basically, let me make this a wee bit bigger now. There we go. Wee bit bigger so you guys can see it. CPU. Now what you want to do is when you start off is find a motherboard. Why do you want to find a motherboard, you say? Well, that's wherever all the parts go for the whole computer is on the motherboard. Now, manufacturer, Gigabyte, blah blah, that's the part number. And if you ever need to replace anything, what I like to do is I keep all the boxes. I always keep the motherboard box. Of all the boxes, the motherboard box is most important with the documentation in there. The form factor, like I was talking about how big it is, this is important. If you get an ATX and then a mini ITX case, it's not going to fit. Like there's just no way, no amount of wiggling, no amount of flapping it around. I had a person tell me that once. I was flapping it around. I working at an IT shop, sometimes it just cracks me up, and I can't laugh. I can't laugh at these people. Like they're completely 100% serious. Okay, CPU socket. Now every year or a couple generations of CPUs, the socket type changes. I can't just throw in, a CPU from let's say the LGA 1050s, I think 50K, basically Intel into an AM3 plus socket. One, that's like, Intel from like way back in the day, and then this is a AMD CPU slot. It's just not gonna work. Now I can't take an AM2 CPU and throw it in here either. It has to be AM3 plus. That's the best one for it to work. Chipset, that just tells you basically what generation it is. Now memory, yeah, oh my god. People every day, I swear, every day, come to me and say my memory is full, and I'm so confused. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it flushes itself. Just restart your computer. He's like, no, like, I can't download any more pictures. I can't download. I'm like, dude, that's a hard drive. Hard drives are not memory. When you talk to someone in the IT field about memory, we're gonna think memory, or flash memory, RAM. Okay. Now, trust me, you can dive down the rabbit hole, down deep into the rabbit hole, and say memory interacts with RAM, therefore it is still part of the memory chain. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not going to get into that. I can just read from you my A plus studying book and be like, blah 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 blah. This is what they told me, and this is what I'm going to tell you. Now DDR3, probably when you guys start building, or I mean, you could get DDR3. There's nothing wrong with it. It's basically every time they bring out new RAM, or DDR, double data rate, and then the generation. The first 3 doubled in speed. I haven't fully looked into DDR4, but I will naturally assume, please correct me down in the comments, if DDR4 didn't double in speed as well. Okay, so these are the clock rates right here. The 1333, the 1600. That's how fast the RAM works. Okay, simple enough. And you can't be getting anything crazy like 2800 RAM. That's like server grade stuff. Like, no, it's not gonna work. The motherboard won't recognize it. It's just not. It's probably wouldn't even fit. It has weird pin setups, and and then the maximum amount of RAM you can have, 32 gigabytes. RAID. If you already know what RAID is, then you probably shouldn't be here. Like, go build your RAID plus RAID 1 plus 0. Cool. You know, like, leave a like on this video, but if you know what RAID is, like, good job, guys. Crossfire, that's AMD's ability to run 2 GPUs at the same time. SLIs, NVIDIA's. Short and sweet, to the point. How many SATA ports you get, and then it also says how fast it is. So 6 gigabytes per second. You get 6 gigabyte SATA ports. So I can have 6 hard drives. Now that also depends on your case, how many hard drive slots it has. I highly don't recommend that you just stack hard drives loosely in your case. Just an off chance that, I don't know, a dog like runs into the side of your computer and like smacks it over, and then you're sitting there downloading, or you're downloading some work assignment or from your boss, and he's like, I'm only gonna send this to you once, and then it gets corrupted because it pulls a cable, and then disaster strikes. Like, it's all like it just burst into flames, and eSATA, Express SATA. Basically, eSATA is for external hard drives. eSATA is not used as much as it is for like USB 3.0, USB 2.0, but it is still an option. It's still a good option too, don't get me wrong. And then onboard Ethernet, and then USB headers. Okay, so that is a motherboard. That is what a basic rundown of what's on the motherboard, how to look at it. Buy the features that you want, okay? Like, if you want virtualization, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to go too deep in this video. But if you want virtualization, you're going to have to go digging for it. Like, this motherboard has virtualization on it. It's also tied to a CPU as well, but okay. And then what I do is I get the motherboard, I get what I want. Then I go over and get my CPU. Now for this one, obviously I picked the FX 8350 4 gigahertz. But let me go back and actually look through. Now, PC Part Picker, like I've said before, wonderful website. Has a compatible filter already built in, so it won't be like, oh, let's buy an Intel CPU for your motherboard's AMD 3 Plus socket. It's like, I've seen that so many times. So let me turn it off. Let's just see what we can see. So like, I can buy anything. Like, you can buy literally anything on this website. Like, look, I can click on this. I can add it to my list. Oh no, warning! These parts have potential issues, incompatibilities. Let me see the issues. Intel Core i7 7700K are not compatible. Yeah. Now, do I necessarily need could I go to a website and be like, oh, well, that part's compatible, that part not compatible? Yeah, I can do that. This is just, it's a little bit faster. As you see, like, they go to, Outlet PC, Super Blizz, Amazon. I don't even know what BH is. Newegg, PCM. I need to check out PCM. I had never heard of that, or BH. But I am trailing off. Okay, so what I really wanted to click on the CPU for is to run through what makes a good CPU from a bad one. Okay, so manufacturer, part number, blah blah, data width. So you got 32-bit and 64-bit. There is no reason to buy a 32-bit anything in today's computing world. I mean, like, 32-bit only goes up to 4 gigabytes. That's the max it can handle. Any program running more than 4 gigabytes, including your operating system. So you really only have like 2 gigabytes to work with. 3 to 2. I'll say 3. I'll say 3 for good measure. So Adobe whatever, you're not gonna be able to run it because it takes 4. So you have to have a 64-bit to do just about to do anything anymore. I mean, like, anyways, that's what it is. If you even got 8 gigs of RAM, it wouldn't even work. Your computer wouldn't even turn on with a 32-bit system because it wouldn't recognize that it had RAM. It just wouldn't recognize it at all. Socket, just like I said, LGA 1151. What did I say? I had quoted some like old stuff. So the socket, you match the motherboard socket type to this socket, and they match. Boom. Now they have a base and then they have a turbo. Intel, I don't remember if this one's overclocked or not, but 4.2 gigahertz. That's a pretty strong core. Now you would want to go, don't just buy, you're like, oh, it's 4.2 gigahertz, that must be great. No, not necessarily. Not like, check the price, check the speed, operating frequency, speed, that's what that means. And then check the benchmarks. Don't just blindly buy stuff. That's bad consumers right there. And then how many cores you got? Okay, like, and this is where people start losing their minds. They're just like, I don't know what this is, and I don't know what this is, and I don't know what this is. 9 times out of 10, you won't even have to worry about it. This is flash memory. This is where we start diving into the more advanced IT stuff. Basically, it's, like I said, I wasn't going to dive too much into it. It's flash memory, though, just leave it at that. It runs faster than RAM, and it's the fastest type of RAM. It's the most expensive memory type out there, but it runs the fastest. Look at that. That's just I don't know why they put that on there. That's just like how they made it. The nanometers, blah blah. Like they keep trying to make them smaller and smaller and smaller. I guess it's like, Toyotas versus, like a Dodge's truck, like, oh, we got a smaller engine, but better gas mileage, while the Dodge over here, I'm sorry if you like Dodge. I don't know why I like Dodgers, so that's why I threw it out there. We got the V8 over here, Hemi. The gas mileage is not that great, but it's got a lot of power. But Intel's done a great job of making it smaller and making it fast. You just gotta watch out for heat. See, like, it produces 91 watts, which for a 4-core is high. It really is high. And it does not include a water heat CPU cooler, but it does have hyperthreading. Hyperthreading is very useful when you do multiple tasks at the same time, like I do. I like to do. I circumvent that by 8 cores. Like I can do a lot of tasks at one time with 8 cores. It even has integrated graphics. Maximum supported memory, 64 gigabytes. See, this would not. My maximum supported memory on my motherboard was only 32. But this is a totally different generation. This is a good CPU. Let's see if we can find. I don't really think there's any bad ones out there. Unless if what I mean by that is I don't want to dive into politics of red versus green. What's NVIDIA? NVIDIA's is green. Like, I'm not gonna dive into politics or AMD versus Intel. That's just not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. And then, so you got your ATX right here, motherboard, and then the same, like the case. It'll be like ATX mid tower. So you don't. When I say it's ATX is like on the larger side, computers have gotten very small over the years, and let's just click on one. I'll show you what I mean by ATX. See, oh, this is a nice case. Well, you gotta kind of look at it and see. What I always like to look for is cable management slots, like this right here. So the motherboard will sit right here, and then what will happen is it'll run the cords through here, and it'll run through the back. See if it shows the back right here, and then it would just it would hide behind this panel right here. Of course, you'd zip tie it and make sure everything looks nice and pretty behind the case, but okay, let's. How long is this video? Probably too long. I cover RAM, and then don't forget to buy thermal paste. Thermal paste is important for your CPU. A lot of times it does not come with thermal paste. Some companies like to put it in there, but not very often. Expansion cards. A lot of people like to be wireless. Motherboards don't have wireless capabilities built in, so you gotta get an expansion card or a networking card. Sorry. Wireless network adapters. They're not expensive. They're not that expensive. They just go into your PCI Express, and then I'll let you do the research on these. A lot of people go back and forth of whether the AC is better or the AD. I've that's when you start diving into like radio signals. And if you don't have a microwave by your computer, you should be fine. Or in between your computer and your router, it should be fine. Well, okay. Let me just throw that off there. Okay, guys. I can't think of anything else to put in this video. I think I kind of covered everything, walked through everything. If you guys got any more questions, hit me up down below in the comments. And don't forget to like if you like this. I know I won't make too many more. I might put out a few more, just of me messing around with my computer as I get my parts in. More or less to build hype. If you guys actually stay till the entire video, make sure to put like a hashtag hype down below. I would think it's funny. I'm gonna laugh and heart it. Whoever does, I'm gonna like and heart it. If you're new, make sure to subscribe. We moved over to Twitch. Haven't started any live streams yet, but feel free to go back and look at my other content. We did live streams on YouTube. We're still gonna do live streams on YouTube, guys. I'm still not gonna completely abandon YouTube, just because I got some followers over here. But at some point, I'm gonna get my Twitch channel up and running as well. Well, alright guys, I hope you guys found this entertaining as well as factual. And if I got anything wrong, call me out on it. I'm not perfect. And as always, happy gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright.